Rally Monte Carlo is almost here. In this video, we're going to be having a look at the runners, riders, and the stages for the 2026 WRC season opener. And we will start off with the entry list. In Rally 1, you can expect nearly a dozen cars. Got 5 Toyotas, and then 3 each for Ford and Hyundai. The Toyotas will open up the entry with Ogier and Evans because we go in championship order from last year. Thierry Neuville will be third on the road, then it will be Taka Katsuta ahead of Adrian Fourmeau. After that we'll have Sami Paire, who's entered as part of the next gen team, so that means that he's scoring points for that team. Oliver Solberg will be scoring manufacturers points for Toyota at this round, meaning that Taka Katsuta is not. Then after that we have Greg Munster, who is not nominated for points for Ford. He's entered, I believe, in the Serdarides private entry. McAlean is, as is Hayden Padden, who is returning to the WRC. This will be his Rally 1 debut. And another Rally 1 debutant, and in fact a top flight and WRC debutant, John Armstrong. That new Ford Puma looks beautiful. It's very noughties. It's very 05 and 06 Ford Focus. The WRC2 field is opened up by the new Lancia Ypsilon HF for Johan Roussel and Nikolai Gryasin. Then you have Roberto Dapra. The next two are not entered for WRC2 for this round, but it's Romy Jurgensen for M Sport and Yuki Yamamoto for Toyota. That's the Print Sport car. That's the one that Oliver Solberg won in last year in WRC2 and Sami Paire the year before that. It is also now a team that is owned by Jari-Matti Latvala, Toyota team principal. Then we have Eric Cameli, who is entered for WRC2 with a Skoda Fabia, the former M Sport driver. We have Philip Marej in a Yaris. We have Citroën C-Freeze for Leo Rossell and Pablo Sarrazin. Sarrazin is entered as his own entry, whilst Leo Rossell is the 2C Competition Junior team. Then I have Philip Cohn, Chris Ingram, Mathieu Chatillon, Elia Delacour, Alpha Pellemorg, who is stepping up from Rally 3. We also have Quoten, who we have seen in the ERC, Amaury Moll, Olivier Burry, John Vartique, Julien Piguet, Stefano Mella, then Johan Kethenbach with Ilka Minor as co-driver, Eamon Boland, Luciano Cobb, we have Dimitrios Driviakos, who is behind the wheel of what is listed as a Hyundai NG i20, I believe that's the old R5 spec, Filippo Marcino, Henk Vossen, Carlo Colvi. Those are our WRC2 entries. For WRC3, we have Matteo Fontana, Giovanni Rossi, Eric Royer, Jean-Christophe Guibert, and Olivier Courtois. The final two, in a Fiesta and a Clio, we haven't seen do full seasons before, but the rest we've seen in the past couple of seasons, all behind the wheel of Ford Fiesta Rally 3s. Outside of that, we have a handful of non-championship Rally 2s, Rally 3s, Rally 4s, and a couple of Rally 5s, in addition to 3 Alpine A110 RGTs. The lead of them, Armand Fumar, we've seen in a few different rounds in the past couple of years. Some people you might recognise in the non-seeded elements. You've got Albert van den Taxis, who we've seen in the WRC throughout the past couple of decades. And then elsewhere, you've got a couple of other names you might recognise as well, especially if you follow the European scene. Bajaj Gajda behind the wheel of a Renault Clio Rally 3, for example, not entered for WRC3 here. In terms of the stages, you can expect a total of 340 competitive kilometres. The shakedown is a traditional shakedown that we have seen in the past couple of editions of Rally Monte Carlo, though we have a slightly different run at the end of the stage that I don't think we've had before. For the first 3 stages proper on the Thursday night, well, evening in tonight, we start off with Toudon Saint-Antonin. That has played a part in Rally Monte Carlo Historique before. The last time we saw it in the Rally Monte Carlo proper was, well, the final few kilometres in 2023. Or you're going to have to go back even further. 2009, when it was part of the IRC. 2006, it was run in reverse. Or 2005, for the last time that this particular stretch was run in this direction in the WRC. You have Esclangon-Saint-Les-Alpes as the second test. That last popped up in the WRC back in 2016. And then you have the Vomel-Claret test, 15.06 kilometers. That will pop up again on Saturday. So it's the first of 2 runs. The last time it was in the WRC was in 2018. After that, if we have a look at the Friday test, we have 2 loops of 3 stages repeated. Those are opened up by La Barrel-Chavac-le-Monton, a 17.95 kilometer test that has popped up in the historic editions of the Monte Carlo before, but the last time it appeared in Rallye Monte Carlo proper was in 2019, when it was run in the opposite direction. The second stage of each loop is Saint-Nazaire-le-Désert à La Manche-Chalençon. That is a 28.7 kilometer test. Last appeared in Rallye Monte Carlo last year, but some of the roads are different and being run in the opposite direction. Funnily enough, the start of the stage was the end of the stage in the same direction last year. The end of both loops is La Baie d'Affon-Aspremont. It's a 17.79 kilometer test. It was run last year, and it is unchanged from last year. Saturday, we end up with 2 runs of La Brion-Bellafère, a 30 kilometer test that has popped up in Monte Carlo in recent years. In fact, it made up 2 different stages last year, so for some cruisers it's going to be familiar, but they're going to have to be thinking about their pace notes. Some bits are going to be having been moved around. We might recognise it as the Brigier-Bellafère test or La Brioche-Selonnais. That is a much more iconic name when it comes to Rallye Monte Carlo. Like I said, the second run of Vomel-Claret is going to be in the middle of that, but on Saturday evening we have a super special stage around the Monaco circuit. It's got a donut in it, it's got a couple of chicanes, and it uses basically the kind of bits that we had for Formula E, when Formula E had the short version of the Monaco circuit. But yeah, expect to see some of the stuff that we saw back in, when was it? 2008? Was it? Oh, I'm trying to remember if it's 08 or 07 where Konrad Rautenbach backed it into the wall and had a massive piece of contact. Sunday's tests. Col de Breux-la-Cabinette, 12.5 kilometers. Again, this is one that is been popped up over the years in terms of Monte Carlo, but the last time I think Rallye Monte Carlo itself had it was around 2019. Is this the... I have a feeling this is the one where we ended up seeing a victory come in. Oh no, yeah, because it was 2020 as well. For a reverse entry into a hairpin. Then, yeah, La Belen-Visby-Moulinet, otherwise known as the Cauldron Turini test. Rounds out the rally. It's got 2 runs, the second one being the end rally power stage. And, yeah, as always, fantastic to have it in here. Now, as for my wants to watch for this event, I mean, you have to put your money on Ogier and Landais, don't you? They're opening the road. They have won most of the editions since Ogier's been in the top flight. He's won most of the editions of the Monte Carlo Rally. I think he even won as part of the IRC, hasn't he? Thierry Neuville, who's third on the road, is possibly going to have some better conditions because he will be able to follow whatever Ogier and Evans have done, provided none of them go off the road, of course. But he's also somebody who, if it's not Ogier, it's Neuville that wins. If it's neither of them, it's been Sebastian Loeb. I think the 3 of those drivers combined go back to when Marcus Grönholm ended up winning it, 06? Especially for WRC, when you think of WRC, because I think, didn't Bouffier win one year when it was part of the IRC? But when it comes to the WRC, yeah, you're talking 20 years for those 3 drivers. And I think for Ogier and Neuville, it's something like from 2014 through to the present day, with the exception of 2022. Don't rule out the likes of Full Metal Sulberg. They've run well in the practice events in recent months, in the last couple of years. But when we're talking WRC2, I actually would think that Rossell and Grosjean would be great to follow. Sulberg's been doing really well in RC2 the last couple of years, but he didn't nominate for point scoring. And whilst both of them have had issues in the last couple of years, they've both been up at the front in the past few editions where they've been entered. So it'll be interesting to see how those turn out. As for the Rally 3s, WRC3, I'm thinking Fontana or Rossi. I know they're the top 2 seeds, but both have done well before. From what I recall, Rossi has had some better form on tarmac. Fontana's tended to have better form on gravel. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Thanks for watching and joining, folks. Thanks for listening. And as always, till next time, it's bye-bye for now.